Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be looking at the Truthear Hexa. This is their latest. They had the Zero before, which was a dual dynamic drivers each side. This one is a hybrid. I'm going to go over the specs in just a minute. So this is one dynamic driver, 3 balanced armatures. It is a PU plus LCP dynamic driver. It is a 10 millimeter, I believe. It actually doesn't say over there. Let's see if it says on the paperwork behind here. It doesn't say. So I could be wrong. I think I read somewhere that it was a 10 millimeter. Then again, what isn't a 10 millimeter lately? So here's a little look at the chart and just some of the specs. I'm going to go over the specs in just a second. Got some nice artwork there. You get this little box right here, and of course off to the side here, Hexa. Nicely looking, well branded, nice artwork. Your 2 driver things will be there, the IAMs, and then inside you have all these different tips. They always provide such a nice bunch of tips. So you have all these different sizes. These are foamies down at the bottom. Nice sticky foamies. I like those. Nice case, very similar to the Zero. Even the packaging, similar to what the Zero's was. That nice case with the clasp. It's a soft case. Put that off to the side as well, and that. Then you get this, and inside there is documentation. And you get this little thing that you fold, and it makes a little stand for this if you want to have this on your desktop. I think that's cute. I have the plastic one that came with the Zero. I like that a lot. It actually isn't on my desk. It's actually up on a shelf. I just don't, the desk is so crowded, I don't have the room for it. So here you go. Here's a look at these. Now these are 3D printed. And I'm going to pull that off. These have the sound tubes and everything. I mean, they kind of look like a custom. If I took this off and just showed you this, you might think it was some kind of custom or whatever. You can see through there, that is translucent on the back. As you can see right there when the light catches it. And you can see your sound tubes come out. So it has separate tubes for the balanced armature and the dynamic. Little screw right there. Faceplate. I'm not sure if that's metal. I don't think it's metal. I think this is all resin. And this is all 3D printed right here. So it's an interesting shape. Very angled. Kind of very... I think somebody said Lamborghini Countach. I think that kind of sums it up, that angled look. Very cool. I like it. This may not be for everybody, but this is far from like the, what was the other one that we just did? The Mech Warrior. That had a lot more sharper edges than this. This is more well-rounded, especially from the back. And it's very smooth, kind of soft touch feeling resin. Excellent material. You get this cable. It's basically the same cable that came with the Zero. It's decent quality. It's a little on the thin side, but it's rubberized. Nice splitter right there. It's got an L-shaped, which is on the Uno right now. I love that Uno, to be honest. Out of everything that I've done for MiFi, and I like a lot of their stuff, I don't know, there's something about that little guy that I just like a lot. This side doesn't say anything, just the regular look with the little screw there. And put that off to the side. Put that off to the side for now. Let's get into the full specs. Like I said, it's one dynamic driver, 3 balanced armatures each side. PU plus LCP, liquid crystal polymer. Impedance is 20.5 ohms, which is interesting. Sensitivity is 120. Frequency response 8 to 40 kilohertz. Effective frequency response, of course, is 2020. That's basically Anybody with good hearing can hear 2020. Some people maybe hear a little bit better than that. The 120 decibels and the 20.5 ohms. This does scale with power. That should be said. It sounds good right off of a dongle. We use the Fosse dongle. We use the Questyle. We've definitely used the iFi Uno. And of course the large variety of mobile devices. That's just a little sample that I could grab. So it's been tested on multiple different things. Even straight from the phone it has been tested. And it sounds really good on everything. But I have noticed that it sounds better on things. Like the Questyle definitely sounds better. The Uno, of course, everything sounds better on the Uno. The Uno sounds super fun. The V6 DAP. What are my favorite things with this? The V6 DAP. The SG1 from Death on Ray. And the Uno. And the Questyle. I like it on the Questyle and the Fosse. So that's a bunch of things. So basically I like it on anything that amplified it a little bit. So let's get into this. Good accessories. I found it comfortable. I don't know, maybe on littler ears. Some people have said sharp angles. I don't think it has nearly enough sharpness to it to bother anybody's ears. It's kind of even rounded over here. So comfort-wise, it was very good. Tip-wise, it's kind of weird. This is kind of like smooth. So it's like very easy to put the tips on, but make sure that they're on there secure. You don't want them to get in your ear and panic. But don't worry, that's happened to me like hundreds of times anyway. Very easy to get out. Just stay calm, grab them out, or get your friend to put little tweezers or something. But usually you can get them out on your own. So, comfort-wise, I think it's good. Made-wise, it's lightweight. It seems very sturdy. I can't knock it for anything like that, comfort or build quality. Looks really good, feels really good. It's an interesting shape. Obviously, it's not the most beautiful IM on the market. It's just like a kind of futuristic tech design with angles. So looking at my notes, the cons, like I said, the shape may not be for everybody. I didn't have any problems with that. It was actually performed well. It was comfortable. There's good isolation, and the build quality very lightweight, but yet very solid. The cable is the cable. It's far from the worst cable I've ever had. Obviously, the thinner parts of the cable where the hooks are and everything, they can get tangled, but the cable wasn't too bad. A lot of people have said, oh, that cable. The cable's fine. I've had a lot worse cables. The driver does require burn-in to get its full potential. So ultimately, what do I think about this one? I like this one a lot. Now, this is just my opinion, but I think that this one, I think somebody else said it. It sounds a little like the Blessing 2, and not in the bad parts, like the good parts of the Blessing 2. It has a very good detail. It has some very good technical prowess. It's got good technicalities. There's good speed there. Definitely good details there. Nice sound stage. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to read the notes at the same time, so I don't say something over and over again. So I'll try not to repeat. But I found that it sounded quite natural. The mids were very good. They were fantastic. Had a decent amount of energy. The treble had a good extension without overdoing it. And the bass was good. It had good texture. It definitely had a nice full bass, but it wasn't overpowering. It was just more or less kind of a, like a more neutral type bass. Now let's get into the notes more. When we think about the bass, I think that mid bass was a little bit behind the sub bass. The sub bass had more of a thump there. It's a nice kind of fast-paced, tight rumble, but the sub bass is there. Mid bass too, also punchy, but a little bit less strength there compared to some, which is opposite. Usually you get a little bit more mid bass than sub bass on a lot of these newer IAMs. Noticing that the mid range, it's forward. It sounds very, very good. Both vocals, male and female, I found could definitely, they sounded good. Full-bodied, if you want to call it that. Definitely clear and just very, very, very nice. It was very pleasant. So ultimately, mid-range I found very good. In a nutshell, it was neutral, had very good separation and layering there. Definitely female vocals had very, very good presentation, and male vocals just sounded really natural and full-bodied. Just clean and transparent, with very little coloration. Definitely some good mids there for people that are listening to, vocal tracks and stuff like that. The treble, definitely some sparkle there, a good extension. It was open and airy and very detailed. And I think a lot of people will like that. And I don't find it harsh. It could be harsh under certain circumstances, but I didn't find it harsh at all. Then we're getting into the soundstage. The soundstage isn't the widest soundstage, but it is a very good soundstage, meaning that it's very accurate. It has kind of a natural feel to it. There's definitely a good width that is just like a natural one. It isn't overemphasized. And ultimately, there's just layering and accuracy in the imaging there, making it very, very good to pick out the things that you need to pick out. And that's basically it about this. Do I like this? This is one of my favorites. I don't know if it is my favorite for under 100 because I got more things coming in, and it's very hard to, pick a favorite right now. But I will be picking a favorite eventually. At least 3 favorites in no random, order or something like that. But ultimately, I do like this. So let's just break it down in a nutshell. You got a good soundstage. It's not the widest soundstage. It's an accurate soundstage with good separation and layering. You have very neutral mids that are pleasant and have good body, good energy there in the treble, a good extension and sparkle and detail. And then we get into the bass. Is very good sub bass, a little bit less mid bass than I would have liked, but it definitely has a decent amount of texture on both bass and speed. Then we get into like technicalities and separation. It is excellent for that. And in some ways, actually probably better than the Blessing in certain aspects. I think that the Blessing did bass a little bit better. But other than that, most things, the Blessing 2 was similar. I think the Blessing had a little bit wider soundstage as well. But for the cost of this, I think this is like $80 or something like that. This thing is just incredible. I think in the $90 to $80 range, this is totally the best that I've heard so far. So that said, this has been the Truthear Hexa, and I'll leave a link down below to this. And if you're interested in this kind of thing, it sounds very good. I really do like it. And it's kind of like a cool shape as well. Plus, they always give you such a nice amount of accessories. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was informative. and I will see you out on the internet. Be safe.